G'day everyone. My name's Dallas Hill. I'm one of the enrollment advisors here at Coder Academy. Just going to hold off for a memento, wait for a few more people to roll on in, and then we'll kick off. Okie dokie, let's get started. So once again, my name is Dallas Hill. I'm one of the enrollment advisors here at Coder Academy, and today we're here to have a chat about some of the courses we have available that are starting in early 2025. So let's kick it off, where coders are made. So just acknowledgement of country here. In the spirit of reconciliation, Coder Academy acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. Who are we? Myself and Lee Harrison. We're two of the enrollment advisors that are available to have a chat to about our boot camps and our part-time diploma of web development. So we also have Jairo on today as well. He's our academic manager. Jairo, I'll just get you to jump on and say hello.
Hey everyone, hey Dallas.
Hey, so thanks for saying hello, Jairo. Jairo is going to be back on a little bit later. We're going to have a chat with him. He's going to talk about a few cool things, a bit of a deeper dive on what we've got available. I'll get Lee to jump on as well, and she'll have a bit of a chat with you just for a moment.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your lunch break with us. We very much appreciate your time. I will be on the live chat collecting any questions that you have for Dallas and myself, and then also for Jairo, as you know, one of our lead educators, of course, on Coder Academy. What we would like you to do when you're chatting with us in the live chat is please make sure you're in the right place to start with. So we would like you to be where it says chat with the little chat bubbles. And at the bottom of the chat dialog box, it has a little where it says who can see your messages. It says to, and if you could have that to say everyone and not hosts and panelists, that will just ensure that we don't double up on any questions. And yeah, it just makes it a bit more streamlined for everyone. We look forward to hearing from you. So no question is too small, too big, too silly, too intellectual. Just chuck it in there and we'll get it answered within the hour. Okay, guys, that's all from me. And thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you really soon. Okay, bye.
Cheers. Thank you so much, Lee. Rightio, on with the show. Who employs full stack developers? Essentially everyone, okay? But obviously the IT company first. IT companies within the IT industry, obviously there's plenty of developers out there, and there's plenty of full stack developers, but also there are other industries as well. Full stack developers being the most versatile developer type in the industry, are going to cover lots of different areas in lots of different other parts of the industries. So retail is a big one. For example, a lot of retail companies have websites these days, and these websites, they're created and maintained by full stack web developers. They're the ones that do that sort of thing. Financial institutions, okay, so we probably all use banking applications on our phones and computers, so it's all done digitally these days. Those platforms are also built and maintained by full stack web developers. And we've also got digital agencies written there as well. Basically, it just means there's so many people across different areas that will be doing it. There'll be marketing teams that might dabble in web development here and there, some more intensely than others. But ultimately, full stack developers are king. They're going to be everywhere within all industries. So we've got average salary there of a full stack developer is $120,000. That's a nice chunk of money per year. Ultimately, after doing a 10-month boot camp or even a 2-year part-time course with us, you too could be a full stack web developer. You're looking at probably starting at around $75,000, $80,000 a year. That's going to be for a junior web developer, sort of straight out of the gates. But after, let's say a year and a half to 2 years, it may even be sooner than that. You'll be on six figures, and yeah, I guess like things will be looking pretty good. So our boot camps are ideal for pretty much anyone. Career changes is a big one because of our boot camp being 10 months. We have a lot of people come on board that are looking to change career, but maybe not looking to sort of invest another 3 years into a degree, maybe go to uni. They feel like they don't have the time for that, and also they might find it difficult to juggle that with work as well because they want to continue working while studying. Whereas a 10-month boot camp with us is ideal for career changes because you can change career quickly, or even one of our part-time courses that goes for 2 years. That one is also going to be a great opportunity as well if you've got a little bit more time up your sleeve. Upskillers. So there's people who are currently in IT that are potentially looking to brush up on their skills. It's a great place for them to come on board for a course with us to, I guess, reskill in languages they may have sort of lost touch with, or also learn new skills because we try to stay at the pointy end of tech. So we're always sort of delivering, I guess, the newest, most stable sort of like software and practices is what we try to do. So it's a great place to come and reskill as well. And as mentioned before, career changes, not looking to go to uni. They don't want to spend 3 years of their life in study again. It's a great alternative to uni as well. So you can come on board. But also in saying that, as far as uni goes, because our boot camps are accredited and the subjects are actually university level subjects, after completion of a course with us, if you decide that you want to continue studying, you can definitely go to uni and get credit for what you've completed with us previously. So here's a bit of a breakdown. There's a lot of information here, so I'll sort of go through it all. But you've got a boot camp, okay, which is a 10-month one. That one's starting in February, and we've also got a part-time delivery, which is starting on the 20th of January. That's a 2-year one. So I'll go through the boot camp side first. 10-month course. It's got a 4-week optional industry placement that's going to be on the end of it. We can talk about that soon. It's 100% virtual classroom. So basically, you'll have live classes per week, Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So it's 8 hours of live classes per week that you must attend. And then there's 23 hours of recommended self-study that needs to be completed per week as well. Okay. We have people who are currently studying this bootcamp with full-time jobs. So if you've got good time management skills, it's definitely doable. And then additional support, we have on-campus support hubs in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. And we've also got the academic support available online through Discord as well. So you don't ever need to step foot in a campus, but the options are available there to you. And then the qualification is a higher education diploma of web development. The price is just over $22,000, and fee help government loans are available for Australian citizens. Okay, and also special category visa holders. Outside of that, we have monthly installments that are available as well. Onto the part-time delivery. So this one is also the same accreditation, so it's higher education diploma of web development as well. And look, it starts on the 20th of January, so a little bit earlier. 2 years in total. Still has that 4-week optional industry placement. It's 100% virtual classroom. This time, only a couple of classes on weekday evenings. So Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it's 4 hours per week, and then there's only 10 hours of recommended self-study. So if you had a little bit more time up your sleeve, this one's a little bit more manageable. I guess a little bit more flexible in comparison to the Web Dev Bootcamp. And you've got academic support available online via Discord, and it's and the price is the same, being just over $22,000. And also fee help government loans are available, and also you can defer payments. Using that, and you can also utilize monthly installments. So here is a bit more of a visual sort of aid. This is the weekly timetable for the Web Development Bootcamp. You can see there from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 2 evenings per week will be live classes in green, and also on the Saturday there. And the yellow area, that represents essentially when the academic team will be available for support if you need a little bit of help. And then we've got the part-time one, obviously a little bit more simple, but ultimately, yeah, 2 evenings per week, So 4 hours in total of live classes. And you've got academic support, which is the same Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is available to you as well. And you will need to you'll need to squeeze in 10 hours of self-study, as well on top of those 4 hours of live classes. So this is a bit of a breakdown of what to expect. In term one, you're looking at dealing with a bit of HTML and CSS. You'll be building a portfolio website, showcasing yourself professionally. And then you'll be doing some Python programming and building a terminal application. You'll be learning Python with Flask. So Flask being the framework that we're delivering alongside Python. And then term two, you'll be touching on some JavaScript, deployment, React being the framework that you'll be using with JavaScript. You'll be building a full stack web application for a client, and you'll be learning DevOps fundamentals and some AWS usage and some Docker. And also keep in mind, if a lot of these terms are going over your head and you're not quite sure what any of it means or whether it's for you, we teach everything from the ground up. So no prior coding knowledge is actually needed to come on board. So this is a super brief overview. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically we'll teach everything from the ground up. You don't need to know what these terms mean. You will know eventually. And then you got optional industry placement there. So get placed with one of our industry partners and complete a 4-week placement program. So basically what that means is optional industry placement. It's optional for you to come on board for the industry placement. You don't have to do it. And also, it's optional, I guess, for us to offer it as well. What we expect from you is good attendance. You need to turn up to your live classes. We also want you to have a credit average for your assessments, which is not difficult to achieve. And then you need to have good, good soft skills, so you'll be able to conduct yourself in an interview situation as well. And that's pretty much all that we ask of you. And our partnerships team sort of jumps on board. You will meet them from the word go, but they really only come into play from term two. And they'll have a chat with you, gather things from you like, copies of your resume, copy of the portfolio website that you've built that I previously mentioned there, maybe links to a few social media things like LinkedIn, and also maybe links to your GitHub. And then from there, they'll move forward and pass that information on to multiple partnering companies, and hopefully you get shortlisted, and hopefully you end up getting offered an industry placement, a 4-week industry placement. And then from there, industry placement or not, after completion of the bootcamp, you'll be considered a junior full stack developer, ready to break into the industry and make some money. We have a Women in STEM cadetship program. This is super important. So if you are a woman or are non-binary, you might find yourself eligible for this cadetship program. We currently have 10 spots available. 3 of them are locked in. We've got 7 remaining. If you are keen to jump on board for the Women in STEM cadetship program, it's really important that you do so as soon as possible. Basically, you can receive over $16,000 towards your tuition there. I'm not going to go into more detail. There is more detail in that QR code. And also, most of you should have received an email that has more information. If you haven't received that email, absolutely reach out to us. We're keen to have a chat and talk more about this, but it's a really good opportunity. It's connected to the part-time study. So if you feel that you fall into that category, you don't need to be in STEM. The company that you work for doesn't need to be in STEM either. But ultimately, if you're full-time employed and you're a female or non-binary, and you would like to come on board for the part-time course and get some cool benefits like receiving a whole bunch of money off, definitely have a crack. Please go ahead and apply. These are a few companies that our graduates work at. Some of them are really big companies that you would definitely be aware of. Some of them are smaller companies, and some of them are sort of like mid-size, mid-level companies. Basically, this is just a small little snapshot of what we have available. There are hundreds of companies that we deal with in our partnerships team. But this just sort of gives you a good little overview of, where some of our graduates end up working as developers. So it could be you real soon. Aene, so she came from cheerleading and become a developer, basically. So I came from my cheerleading industry with minimal tech skills, and my fantastic teacher helped me to land my career flip on my feet, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to read through all of it, But this is just a few examples of some people that, have sort of like done really well. Christopher Baker. So before joining Coda, I worked in retail sales where I developed a strong customer-centric approach. My experience at Coda provided a solid foundation in software development practices widely used in the industry, and now I'm a software developer at Aene. Very cool. And Reese as well transitioned from 12 years in the hospitality industry. So if that sounds like you, it's definitely doable because there are a lot of people out there in hospo looking to, I guess, get away from those late night working in bars and that sort of thing. And so he's come on board to become a developer as well. It's very cool. Diversity in Tech Scholarship. So we have a Diversity in Tech Scholarship available as well. This one is for the bootcamp, the 10-month bootcamp starting in February. So, if you're keen to go ahead for that one, you can apply now. In order to apply for the Diversity in Tech Scholarship, you first need to apply and be accepted into the bootcamp itself, which is open for application now. And then after that, we'll send you through a link for you to go ahead and apply for the Diversity in Tech Scholarship. So there's one scholarship per intake, as it says there. You can get 50% off all course fees, and it's open to all domestic students. So yeah, you can find out more info on the website too. Application process is super simple. Basically, you just go ahead and apply on the website or via one of the links in our emails that I've sent through, or Lee. And you complete the enrollment and then you start. It's very, very simple. We prompt you the entire way through. So the admissions team are really good at communicating. So if you've got any questions, definitely reach out. Also, the government loan application, which a lot of people generally have questions about. The Fee Help government loan application is tied in with our enrollment process. So you don't need to go out by yourself to try and, find an application for that. It's all tied in with our application process. And here is me and Lee. So that's our details if you want to get in touch. I believe most of you already have been, but if you have further questions that maybe you don't want to ask in chat today, definitely reach out to us. But in saying that, like Lee said earlier, no silly questions at all. We definitely want you to ask as many questions as you possibly can in the chat. We don't want you to leave with questions unanswered. Look, from here, we're going to jump across to Jairo, and he's going to have a little bit of a chat with us. Jairo, please come on board.
Hello. Yeah, thanks,
G'day.
Dallas, for
No worries.
that intro. So let's jump. I'm going to share my screen as well. So yeah, let's go a bit deep dive of what we do in the bootcamp. Okay, so let's start with why Coder Academy and why a development bootcamp. Firstly, let's talk about demand. Okay, web development, software development is a high growth field with a huge need for skilled professionals in areas like full stack, front end, and back end development. Companies everywhere are on the lookout for developers who can help build and maintain their digital presence, whether it's that's through websites, web applications, or in their internal systems. And yeah, this demand translates into a strong job prospects and a variety of roles to explore. At Coder Academy, we focus on delivering a job-ready education. We know that the tech industry values practical skills, and our curriculum is designed to get you prepared with the hands-on experience that employers want. Our bootcamp format allows you to build these skills in a fast-track, immersive program that moves at a much quicker pace than traditional degree courses. And yeah, Dallas already mentioned that comparison, how much time takes uni and how much time takes this bootcamp. And another key aspect of our program is its accessibility. We welcome students from all backgrounds and all areas in Australia. I already saw some people in the chat mentioning that they come from regional areas. So it's not only for people that lives in the cities. So everyone's welcome. Moreover, no prior experience is necessary to get started. Whether you are completely new to coding or looking to expand your skills, we'll guide you through the essentials so you feel confident as you build up to advanced topics. So now let's dive deeper into how we do that and what our course structure looks like. So one of the things that makes Coder Academy's Web Development Bootcamp especially attractive is its flexible structure, which can adapt to a variety of schedules and commitments. We understand, of course, that every student has different responsibilities, whether it's work, family, or other personal commitments. So we offer both full-time and part-time pathways to accommodate different needs. The full-time option, it is designed to be completed in just 10 months. It includes 8 hours of live classes per week, held on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays if you take the February intake. And for the next intakes, it can be Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Depends on the intake. Okay, but yeah, next one is February 10th. It starts February 10th. And now for those who need a bit more flexibility, we also offer the part-time option. The part-time course spans 2 years and requires 4 hours of live classes per week. This intake starting in January 20 is going to be held Mondays and Wednesdays evenings. Okay, and yeah, it gives students the opportunity to learn a steadier pace while still making consistent progress toward your tech career. And yeah, another great aspect is that these classes are accessible from everywhere. Okay, so as I mentioned before, whether you live in a city or a remote area, you are at home or traveling, you will be able to participate fully in each session. Okay, no need to worry about missing out due to location. Both courses are the same. Okay, same high quality instruction, curriculum, and support. Okay, the only difference is simply the pace and schedule. Okay, it will allow you to choose what fits best with your life. So now that you know about how flexible our bootcamps are, let's look into the specific modules and the skills you're gaining. Okay. In this bootcamp, we cover a range of technical areas to give you a well-rounded foundation in web development. Our curriculum is carefully designed to help you master the skills needed to build and maintain full-stack web applications, which involve both the visible and behind-the-scenes parts of a website or app. Okay, because it's not only what you see, it's only how it works behind the scenes, right? So we have the front-end development. The front-end is everything that users see and interact with on a website or app. Think of it as the face of the website, the layout, buttons, images, and animations that make the experience functional, that make the experience enjoyable, right? And we cover the core tools used to create the front-end. So we will start with HTML and CSS, which structure and style a website. And in term 2, we will learn React, which is one of the most popular frameworks used by companies worldwide to build dynamic, interactive user interfaces. Let's jump now into backend. Okay, so as I was saying before, there is one part of the development that handles the behind the scenes. So the backend is what happens behind the scenes. Okay, this is the part that processes data, manages security, and makes sure everything runs smoothly. So you can think of the backend as the engine, okay, that powers a website. You are going to learn how to work with server-side tools, with APIs, which allow you to handle things like user data, file storage, and database connections. This knowledge is going to help you understand how to build the parts of an application that users don't see, but rely on heavily, okay? Like login systems or data management, okay? Every time you log into an app, which happens a lot, it's not just, well, I put my name and my password and that's magic, okay? There is a backend that supports that, okay? That makes sure that your credentials are correct, etc. And that is just an example, okay? That is just the login side of things. We cover heavily databases as well. So databases are where all the data that a website or application needs is stored, organized, and retrieved. And they are essentially the memory of a web application. The persistency of the data is handled by databases, okay? We teach you about relational databases, which are the traditional or the most common databases, which store data in a structured table-based format. But also we cover non-relational databases, okay, which offer more flexibility for handling large amounts of data. And in the last part of the course, we are going to cover, we cover DevOps, okay? It involves the practices and tools used to deploy, manage, and scale applications efficiently. So how to put this in other words? DevOps ensures that the web application we build can run smoothly for many users at once, okay, even under heavy demand. So in this bootcamp, you are going to learn tools like Docker and Kubernetes that help package applications for deployment. This may sound like too advanced right now, but yeah, everything will make sense once you have a deep understanding of the rest of the content, okay? And we will also cover AWS, which stands for Amazon Web Services, which is the most used cloud platform, okay, to host websites and applications. And then we also cover throughout the course different industry skills that we consider relevant and best practices for landing a job and starting a career in tech. So, for example, version control, okay? This includes Git and GitHub, which is essential for collaborating on projects and managing changes to code over time. We also cover testing, which involves checking that code works correctly and reliably, and agile methodologies, which is a way of organizing and managing tech projects to maximize productivity. These skills are going to ensure that you can work effectively in a team and deliver high quality, reliable code. So this is all the tech stack and skills we cover in the course in a nutshell, okay? If you are not sure if this is relevant for the industry, yeah, I invite all of you to, after this webinar, go and check this on LinkedIn or Seek or Indeed, any job search websites, okay, on how all these technologies are highly demanded in job offers, okay? All of them, you are going to see them in plenty of places. So, yeah. Let's look now at how our project-based approach helps you put these skills into practice. Because one of the key strengths of our bootcamp is its learning by doing approach, okay? We believe that the best way to learn web development, full stack development is through direct hands-on experience. Instead of just learning theory, you'll be working on real projects and tackling challenges similar to what you would face in a tech job. Our lessons are designed with a practical focus. You will see the academic teacher building something since day one. It can be a website, it can be a terminal application, it can be a database, but you will always learn how to do that by doing, okay? So you will get to code, you will solve problem, you will work on those important skills like problem solving, okay? And you will see how your work come to life immediately, okay? On how you build things that are useful, that solve actual problems, okay? And yeah, that will build your confidence as you learn. A huge part of this learning process involves hands-on project, as I was saying. So they are not just exercises, okay? They are kind of full real-world scenarios, okay? Not 100% real-world scenarios. They are kind of simulations, but they simulate what developers do in their roles every day, okay? So you might build a small web application. You may design user interface, or just create a database from scratch, okay? So with projects like this, you are not just memorizing steps, okay? You are gaining a deeper understanding of how things work in practice. And yeah, by the end of the bootcamp, you will have completed multiple projects that will become part of your professional portfolio. This portfolio will showcase your skills to potential employers. You will demonstrate what you can actually do. In tech, portfolios are a key asset, okay, for landing jobs because they are a concrete representation of your abilities and what you've accomplished, okay? They are not that interested in what degrees you have. If you can show that you can build stuff, okay, and a portfolio is a great way to show that. And yeah, last part, beyond the projects, okay, you will also benefit from a strong and committed community, okay? So our teachers and mentors will be there to guide you and support you in the process. Also, fellow students will create a supportive environment, encouraging each other every step of the way. Learning to code, of course, can be challenging. We are not going to say here that it's going to be easy because it's not, okay? But having a community of people who understand and want to help makes a huge difference, okay? So even if we are online, we are always committed to create that community where everyone is engaged, where everyone is active, and everyone is supporting each other, okay? And it's not just the academic side of things, okay? There are also other departments that will help you with your CVs, with your interview preparation, with networking, meetup events, and all that will translate into getting ready for your first job or your industry placement. So yeah, that was on my side. So now if you have any question, yeah, feel free to ask Dallas, Lee, or myself. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Cool. Cheers. Thank you so much for that, Jairo. Very informative. Loved it. Lee, thanks for coming back on. I saw there was, a bit of activity in the chat. Hopefully we got a few questions lined up. Cool.
We do indeed. Okay, I'll just go through them in order. All good. So what we have got, first question comes from Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry is asking if you can be part-time employed instead of full-time to participate in the Women in STEM cadetship program.
Sure. So, yeah, Sherry, unfortunately, you can't be part-time employed. You need to be full-time employed with the company. And there's a lot of back and forth chat between us and the company. We gather a whole lot of information, from you about the company and an authorized person. And then someone from our compliance team reaches out to them as well. Unfortunately, you can't be, part-time or casual. That's just one of the, one of the criteria of the government grant. Yeah.
Thanks, Dallas. And then Michelle and Kai are kind of asking the same question. Now, Michelle asked and Kai asked, besides January, when would the next intake after that be for part-time? And really, Michelle and Kai, the answer to this is we don't know yet. That's the honest truth. There may be one towards the end of 2025, or there may not be one until 2026. We just aren't sure at this point, but we're very happy to keep in contact with you to let you know about that. Michelle also added that she still hasn't taken her citizenship test and she doesn't think she'll be able to do this before January. If I'm not mistaken, Michelle can apply as a permanent resident for the cadetship, right?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, she can apply, to the course in general as a permanent resident, and also that Women in STEM cadetship as a permanent resident as well. Definitely. As a permanent resident, you essentially have in this circumstance all the same rights as an Australian citizen, except for the ability to defer payment using a fee help government loan. But obviously that's the part that's probably important to you, and that's why you're asking these questions. But yeah, and ultimately, when it comes down to the Women in STEM cadetship, without going into too much detail, the remaining amount, the gap that needs to be paid, is something like $5,500. And that $5,500 actually can be covered by your employer using some of the grant money they receive. But that comes down to a conversation between you and them. So potentially being a permanent resident or an Australian citizen in that situation, if the company is to actually cover that gap for you, it won't matter whether you're a PR or Australian citizen. Hopefully that was clear enough.
That was awesome. Okay, now our next question comes from Ash, and I'm going to direct this one to you, Jairo. Ash is asking, are the live classes recorded so we can refer back to them later?
Yeah, 100%. So one question that usually comes is like, as people is used to online learning are recorded classes, and you don't have that option of being live. Our classes are live, so you can be there in the chat, you can ask live questions, you can interrupt the teacher with your questions, but also lessons are recorded, and it takes like a couple of hours to be rendered and to get that recording, and we immediately put those available in our learning management system. So yeah, live lessons and recordings, so you can review them as many times as you want.
Perfect. So if you get a bit stuck, you can go back and watch again and again.
Yeah, of course. And also if you have some work issues, or you are stuck in traffic, or you are sick and unfortunately you cannot attend the live lesson, you always have the chance to watch the recording.
Yeah, and I mean there is a likelihood of that happening in a 10-month period.
Yeah.
We know that not everyone's going to come to every single class, right? Yeah. Jairo, another one for you. This one's from Juliana. Thanks, Juliana. And she says, is it possible to complete the bootcamp in less than 10 months?
Well, this is it's, as Dallas mentioned before, this is an accredited diploma, so we have our time frames. Each term is 20 weeks each, divided in 2 blocks of 10 weeks each. So I mean, you could maybe submit the last assignment a few days or weeks early, okay? But no, as everything has its structure, you are meant to complete that in 10 months.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's really the shortest amount of time you can do it. And really, once you get started, guys, you'll understand why. There won't be really any opportunity for you to finish any earlier. Like you'll probably be wishing you had a little bit longer, if anything. But yeah, obviously very doable. Like you can get it done.
But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt here, but yeah, one thing
okay.
you can do. I mean, it still takes 10 months, but you can complete that at that time frame if you feel like you can go faster. You always can build your side projects and get more involvement in the tech community, attend hackathons, so you can have like a much bigger experience, not just the lessons and your own time learning. So you can still do many other things.
Thank you. So the next question comes from Michael. This one's for you, Dallas. Michael says he's heard that companies now mainly require a degree in computer science rather than boot camps. Now, for me personally, I've not heard this, but I was wondering what Dallas thought about this one. Yeah, what do you think, Dallas?
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. Yeah, that's definitely not what I've heard at all. It's pretty much gone the other way. So it used to be all about making sure to have a degree. Those barriers have since been broken down. There's a lot of companies that are open to like Jairo mentioned. It's more about showcasing that you have the skill set now and you're able to do it rather than the piece of paper that you have in your hand. It's nice that we're also accredited and you get that piece of paper that says that you've got a diploma of web development under your belt. But when it comes down to it, yeah, like employers that are chasing developers for long term that can do the jobs they're advertising, they're much more keen to see that you can actually do it. They don't really care so much about the accreditation. A good example I like to talk about is a few years ago, there's a company called Telstra. You might have heard of them. So basically, there's a department called Telstra Purple, okay, and that's their tech department. That's full of developers, okay. Telstra Purple used to only take on employees that had degrees. Okay, much like a lot of other companies about, it used to be no, you have to go to uni, you've got to do your 3 years, despite whether it teaches you what you really need to know or not. And after that, you got your degree, then then maybe we'll get you a seat at the table and potentially get you employed. But we actually used to deal with Telstra Purple a fair bit. We got a few of our grads in there and a couple of people doing internships. And Telstra Purple realized that they'd been going about things all wrong. And they now actually take on employees with diplomas as well, because they realize that it's not just about that piece of paper. There are a lot of skilled developers out there that haven't completed degrees because it has just been a little bit unnecessary. So that's a bit of a cool story. And look, the rest of the industry is kind of going in the same direction now. So I don't believe that you need a degree in computer science. I think a boot camp is definitely enough to get you a foot in the door.
Yeah, worth adding too, I reckon, Dallas, that when we've had some of our coder grads join us in the past couple of webinars, the question has actually been put to them, like, has it felt like a disadvantage not having a bachelor's of computer science? And their answer was unanimously no, not at all. And moving into industry, they actually found that people who had studied a bachelor's, actually said to them, I wish that I'd done the diploma. I wish I'd gone through Coder Academy. It's quicker, it's more practical and hands-on. I would have learnt faster. So yeah, that's just some honest feedback that we've had. Yeah, so that's the only thing that we've heard. We haven't heard that people are at a detriment for not having that bachelor's of computer science. Ken is asking us, Dallas, is it a 10 months course? I thought it was a 6-month course. This might be a good time to clarify what we kind of used to offer and what we no longer offer and what we're offering now, I guess. Yeah, as far as course durations and such. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we used to have a course called Accelerated, which was basically a 6-month version. And that was a 6-month boot camp. It was fantastic. It was full time. And things have just changed, and students just really aren't able to dedicate themselves to that 6-month boot camp anymore. So we've sort of like we've shelved that 6-month boot camp, and we're still delivering our 10-month version, which is always done really well because people are able to complete it while working jobs. And now we've also introduced another variant, which is the part-time Diploma of IT. You might hear us refer to it as boot camp. Ultimately, it's not a boot camp. It's a 2-year course, but it is delivering the same content and in the same way that the boot camp does. So you're still getting all of that valuable education that we're known for delivering. And so that's what we're delivering now. So we have a 10-month version and a 2-year version versus what we used to have, which was a 6-month version and a 10-month version. Hopefully that's the clarity you needed.
Thanks for clarifying that. I reckon that was important to do because we do have some people who've been watching us here at Coder Academy for some time before kind of taking that step to join. The other thing, another question from the same person, from Can, and they've just popped it in now, but I thought, why not just add them? This one's for you, Jairo. Are students in the course allowed to work with AI such as chat GPT? Excuse me. Yes, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, really good question, indeed. Okay, so short answer is yes, you are, but we also expect students learn the foundation, understand what they do. So that's why the assessments have some part where a student need to prove that it is their own job, that they understood what they built. So of course, when you need to write something and you want to have like a proper grammar, or if you want to add some stuff to your code or find, same as you Google or you or you get help from somewhere else, you can use that as a support, okay? But let's say that when kids are start learning math, for example, you first teach them the foundations. You teach them how to do additions or multiplications or that stuff, and then they can use a calculator, right? But they have to understand what I'm doing. If you give a kid a calculator, they don't know what to do with it, okay? So if we give someone who doesn't have foundations about web development and we say, hey, have a look at ChatGPT, it's awesome, it will do the whole thing for you, you are not going to learn. We are committed with the learning of students.
Nice, thank you. Lauren is also asking, Jairo, is there a maximum class size, and will we be able to work in groups or study with peers?
Yeah, we have some assessments and some hackathons in the process where there will be group assessments. They are going to be individual as well, but some group assessment, because we consider that it is another skill that you have to work on. The size of the class, that will depend. The bigger is the class, the more support is going to have. At minimum, they're going to be an academic teacher and an academic mentor, which will be assisting during the lesson, but we may have more if the class size gets bigger.
So yeah,
Perfect.
just for clarity there, yeah, when Jairo said the bigger the class, the more the support, he means essentially we scale it up and down depending on the amount of students we have in a class. So everyone's going to get the same support, but if there is more students, then there will be more support available. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for clarifying.
No, all good.
Beautiful. Next question comes from Ash, and Ash is asking, does the Diversity in Tech Scholarship require employment? Ash, no, it doesn't. So with the Diversity in Tech Scholarship, it's totally different. This is a scholarship offered by Coder Academy with no government involvement whatsoever. To be successful in gaining the Diversity in Tech Scholarship, you need to stake your case as to what makes you diverse in the industry by answering a couple of questions, which we'll be providing you with if you decide to apply. Essentially, yeah, you need to make an argument for yourself as to what makes you a diverse person in industry and within our course. Being successful will gain you 50% of the tuition fee. And yeah, I believe applications for our February intake close on the 27th of January. If you're interested, please go ahead and apply. We love to see your applications come through. Again, this is another thing we can talk to you about on the phone if you're not sure what to kind of say, how to go about it. Have a chat with us. We'll talk you through it, okay? We're not going to give you the answer, but we can guide you, okay? Cool. So next question is from Michael. He's asking us, is casual or part-time work available in web dev? Dallas, Jairo?
No, it's definitely not. No, of course it's available. Look, primarily full-time employment is a bit of a thing. You might get some contract work here and there as well. There is casual and part-time. It's not going to be as big as full-time though. But it is sort of an option. There's definitely available out there as well. But full-time is you're going to find is most of the roles available.
Thank you, Dallas. Michelle is asking, so you only qualify for the STEM help if you are employed already? Unfortunately, yes. This is the government mandate on this particular grant. You do need to be in full-time employment in order to be granted this opportunity. Thank you. Lauren is asking, so you will come out of the course with a diploma in computer science or similar. Dallas, would you like to go into that one?
Yeah, sure. So you'll come out of the course with a higher education diploma of web development. Okay. So we deliver education in full stack web development. And we also touch on, sort of the fundamentals of DevOps engineering. And we also talk about cloud practitioner with like AWS. So ultimately, you're going to be a full stack web developer with skills in DevOps and cloud is what you will be at the very end. Also, probably important to touch on because there's people out there thinking, is web development, is that the path I want to go down? Okay. Web development, okay, is pretty well sought after. Web development is probably more popular than software development these days. It used to be all about software development, creating executable files on computers and working to the parameters of people's PCs. These days, because technology is getting better, the internet's getting better, browsers are getting better, like Google Chrome. People are making more web-based applications, things that are running in browsers. Okay, so web development is kind of king at the moment. And also, it's important to think if you're not really sure where you want to go when it comes to development. And Jairo could probably back me up on this. The fundamentals are all the same no matter what you sort of are looking to learn and what sort of branch you're looking to break off and go down, the fundamentals are the same for development. So, you're going to learn fantastic fundamentals to get into other areas of tech, even though you are coming on board for our bootcamp and we focus on full stack web development. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Because it was a diploma of IT in the past. It is now a diploma of web development. The thing is that we keep teaching full stack development, and now we have that extra content with DevOps, but the fundamentals haven't changed that much. And we still do what we did in the past, which is get people ready for the industry to become software web developers.
Beautiful. Lauren is asking Dallas, can we pay for the course in installments or as one upfront payment only? I can answer this actually. Lauren, you can pay for the course in monthly installments across the time that you take the course. If you were taking the part-time course, that would be a 20-month payment. So one payment every month for 20 months. If it's the 10-month course, the same thing applies, just over a 10-month period. If you are an Australian citizen, you may be eligible for a fee help loan, which would defer payment entirely until you start earning a certain amount. There's information that we can send you about that, a fee help fact sheet, which would go into more details on how that works. You can also opt to pay per term. The course is now in 2 terms, so that would mean half each term, essentially. Okay, thank you. So Sherry is asking, Dallas, I think you've kind of covered this answer actually in a couple of previous questions. I'm not sure if you'd have anything to add to it. Would you say you'd be more employable with doing a bootcamp than a bachelor's degree?
Look, I wouldn't say you're more employable. I would say that, with the way education is currently, you'd probably have more valuable. I guess, it's a bit of a funny one, because you could say that degrees currently, as they stand, are probably teaching more theoretical stuff. And the practical stuff that they're delivering may not be sort of at the pointy end of tech. Whereas if you, but at the end you come out with a bachelor degree, okay, and that piece of paper is a little bit shinier than a diploma piece of paper, okay? But when it comes to practical skills, a bootcamp like us that delivers, 800 plus hours of hands-on practical coding is going to be more valuable. So, and also because we're a smaller institute and we focus on delivering this one particular thing really, really well, it means that, we can, adjust what we're delivering slightly so that we're making sure that we are staying at the pointy end of tech. We're delivering stuff that is more relevant to industry. So I guess it's kind of 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. But when it comes down to it, we're more relevant. So you could say that, yes, it's a funny one to answer. It's not exactly black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Dallas. A couple more questions, and we're coming to the very pointy end of our presentation here today. So we only have time for a couple more. But last couple. So Sherry is asking Jairo, how does attendance work? Can I fail or get kicked out? For example, I work weekends, so I'd most likely miss the Saturday classes. What say you, Jairo?
So you are not going to fail, or you are not going to be kicked out for missing classes. Okay. Anyway, we 100% recommend to be on live lesson, or if you can be there, please be there. Okay. Of course, the recording will be available, so you can watch it later. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if in a short answer is no, you are not going to fail if you are going to miss Saturday lessons.
Okay, thank you. A final question from Ash is, do you have any additional support for students with disabilities, as I have disabilities? Ash, it's a really good question. As part of your application, you can actually flag with us if you have a disability and what kind of disability that might be. On joining us and finalizing your enrollment, our student services team will be reaching out to you to check in and see how we can best support you to get the best success out of the course while you're with us, whatever that may mean. So that information then obviously goes to our educators, who then work out a solution, a best way around things for you in order for you to get the best learning outcomes and the best learning experience in the class. Yeah. Any further questions? We have 5 minutes remaining. Oh my goodness. I thought we were going to run out of time, and it looks like we've gone okay. We've done it. There we go. Thank you, Dallas. Dallas has put the fee help sheet in there. Such a champion. I couldn't find it. Well done. Okay, awesome. If there are no further questions, we will let you go and enjoy the rest of your afternoons. If there's anything that you want to discuss with us. Oh, there's another question. What are the pathways for moving into other areas of the tech and IT industry? Jairo or Dallas, would you like to answer?
Do you mean after completing the bootcamp?
After completing the bootcamp, Daniel?
I would assume so.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm guessing
there are
yes.
plenty. I mean, you can take any other pathway. The good thing about learning to code is that it's going to put you in the right place for any other skill you want to gain in the IT industry. It's going to be good for if you want to move into data science, as you are going to learn Python and you are going to learn about databases, for example. And if you want to be moved into, I don't know, mobile apps development, you already know React, so you need to switch into React Native, for example, which is a kind of easy transition. Okay, I'm not sure about other areas you are interested in, but there are a lot of transferable skills, and as you learn the foundations of coding, yeah, you can. Of course, you have to keep learning. This is what we work at this have to do. Okay, I ended my uni kind of 20 years ago, and I haven't stopped learning since then. So yeah, it is like a long learning process.
Yeah,
it
cool.
is a long learning process. It's a never-ending one.
It is one thing you do learn to learn better when you do a boot camp with us. You relearn how to learn. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, handing back over to you, Dallas, to close out.
Too easy. Radio. It's been beautiful. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in. If you have more questions, absolutely hit us up. I've thrown our details into the chat there. Thank you so much to Jairo for joining us as well for a chat and doing a bit more of a deep dive on what we have to offer. Look, if you have any further questions, reach out. Otherwise, go ahead and get an application in. The boot camps, they really are just around the corner because the end of the year is approaching fast. It's been fantastic, and we'll see you guys online.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.